In today's session, we will cover the following highlights. We'll introduce the new enhancement coming from Nest about displaying collection discovery for specific libraries per Primo view, more granularity on the collection discovery. We will also demo a new type of resource recommender, a banner, allowing you to market material using this new type, the banner one. We will introduce the second phase of last year NERS. They exclude ebooks from CDI results. We will explain what is coming, what is changing, and that in that behavior if you enable this feature so far. We will also share with you a new user settings that you can configure, allowing your user to set and determine whether to use the search history or to persist the search history or use it for another feature, the recent search suggestion. In Primo VE, we are giving more configuration option, more option to define additional resource type. In addition to the main resource type, you will be able to define a secondary resource type to filter by using the facet or the pre-filters, and more notable item and update to share with you. Okay, so this is the highlights, and I'll briefly go over more details one. But before all of those, we want, as previously, to remind again and to communicate again. In the November release, both for Primo and Primo VE, Primo is going to upgrade the AngularJS to be Angular 1.8 from 1.6. The meaning of that for you, the customers, it's that it may affect your customization. There is an issue in the way, there is a different format in the way you are initializing variables while using this Angular. This is why we are asking you to get ready and prior to November release to test your customization, to test and customize your customization, and upload the new adjusted code to even prior to November. For this and to help you with that, we already prepared document in the CKC, and you have a link for that. We also develop a tool that help you to transform the code. All you have to do is put your custom JS code over there, and the tool, the transformer tool, will do the work for you, so you can use it. We introduce a new clip for that to where Primo developer is sharing sharing the guidelines of how to use the tool or what changes can be done manually. We also conduct webinars with a few community developers that also share their experience and can give you their recommendation and tips. I can also share that we are renewing the Slack channel that we used in the while adjusting to the new interface, so you can raise question over there. Community can help, and also we have Primo developer listening to this Slack channel of the Primo. So we are doing all of these efforts in order to make a smooth upgrade to AngularJS and making sure that your customization will be adjusted. As I said, in order to test it, we also introduce a testing parameter where you can say on the existing Primo version that you have today, you can see if your customization is actually compatible with the version. So really, we are recommend to go over those links quickly and get ready for that. Okay, so having said that, I would like to cover what we have in this release. On the left column, we will see all of the features that are in both Primo and Primo VE. In the August release, on the right column, are only features that's for Primo VE. As I want to say, Primo VE, for Primo VE customer, this is the first time that we have a quarterly release, so it's a long list of features, not as opposed to you get in the monthly release. So just pay attention and see what is most relevant for you to use. So as I said, we will explain more about this collection discovery for specific libraries and map to a Primo view. We will demo the new resource recommender type, the banner. explain more about the second phase of the Exclude ebooks from CDI. We will do it. I will show you also the new user setting and do a quickly demo for that. A continuous to the give us feedback tool, we are now adding a reCAPTCHA option over there. And for the Primo VE customer, the reCAPTCHA is going to be added also to the send to email. Of course, if you choose to define and set the keys for the reCAPTCHA, this will be the trigger to enable the reCAPTCHA on both give us feedback tool and the send to email. We're also going to share with you some improvement that we are doing to the advanced search. Okay, to the advanced search, persisting the expanded collapse setting, following an improvement that we did previously. I will show and explain more. And in continuous to what we released in May, the option to exclude or include full text match while searching in CDI. Now we are declaring, as we already communicated, the out-of-the-box mode of searching in CDI will be by default to exclude full text matches. And of course, you will have configuration to changes to your preference. In the Primo VE area, as I said, you will be able to have additional resource type for a record. There will be a main one for display and an additional one for to be searched and filtered by. We are opening the normalization rules for display and local fields for doubling core. In addition, additional small enhancement is we are going to apply location filters that we have today on the get it. We're going to apply the same configuration also on in the availability statement as this is requested by the customer. We also in the Primo VE, as previously released in Primo, we introduced a new option in the resource recommender to persist a resource recommender, so a resource can be shown across all searches and not for a specific user query or tag. We also in Primo VE enhancing the advanced search to include in the drop-down of the language not only a selected language taken from the out-of-the-box that Primo is providing, but also from the custom languages, as we released last year an option to add custom languages like the Australian languages, for instance, the Auslang. So those can be also be searched and filtered by using the advanced search language dropdown. Additional enhancement and option to sort the subject not by the way you are catalog that, but also alphabetically sort it. You can have a configuration for that, and for the reCAPTCHA already said. So this is like the table of content of this August release for both Primo and Primo VE. And let's move to the schedule and then go and dive into each one of them. So we already have the release on the sandbox on July 24. For the Primo V, it will be available on August 7 on production. In Primo, the rollout is a little bit different. We will have July 24 on the sandbox. We'll have multi-tenant production on August 7, and on-premise Primo customer are going to have it on August 21. Okay, now, so the first enhancement that I'm going to share with you is about the nurse enhancement on the collection discovery for specific libraries. So before we're going into what is new, I just want to remind you what we have today. So today, while we are displaying and using the collection discovery, it's actually showing the collection discovery of all of the institutions, of all of the collections that are within the specific institution will be displayed. Here you can see an example of collection lobby that presents 13 collections. One of them is the music library collections, as you can see, and it's all or and all is being present. And not only that we are displaying all, Other feature related to collection discovery, the search within collection. While we are doing a search within collection and attempting to expand the search, we will search in all of the collection that are associated to that institution. As you can see here. Other feature, the collection path that is being displayed in the full records will show all of the collection that this item is associated to. Okay, and then again, more from the same collections is also, we're going to share if item is associated to several collection. We will try in the more from the same collection to share the information from all the collections that are associated. And this all configuration was per institution level. Now, uh, as requested in the NERS and also in the idea exchange, if you have one institution that includes several libraries, one is the library of nursing, library of music, and library of law, not necessarily that you would like the collection discovery to be a unified from all of those libraries. And this is why you send us a request, this enhancement, to make the collection discovery more specific, more granular, more specific for libraries. And this is what we try to achieve here. Now, with this new enhancement, you can actually make the collection discovery filtered by libraries, and you can decide which library to map into which Primo view. So, as you can see here, the music library collection is being displayed here in the collection library for the entire institution. Now, with this new announcement, if I am going to the collections in the collection editor in Alma, you can see that this music library collection is associated to music library collection. And now you can enable the mapping, the more granularity for specific library, and go into this configuration of Primo views to libraries and map the code of the music library into a specific Primo view. So I have now a demo music view that I choose to map the music library to it. And if going into my music library view, what I can see now that I have only 3 collections that are being displayed because I filter this view only to show collections that are mapped to this library, to the music library. As you can see here, I'm sharing the music library collection and it's being displayed here. So I will get here a Primo view that is mapped to music library and showing collection that are filtered to that specific libraries that I associated to the view. And what I wanted to emphasize is it's not only that we are applying this only for the display, other related feature like the search within, like the collection path in the full record, like more from the same collection, in all of those related feature for the collection, we will apply this library filter as well. So for instance, if I shared with you that I search here for an item I didn't find in my music library collection, but I expand the search to search across all collection, I managed to find the item uh, while I'm filtering the library and doing the same search. I will get no item is found because probably this item is associated to a collection that is not that it was filtered out and it's not associated to this music library view. Therefore, I won't be able to get it. Same will apply for the more from the same collection. Same will apply for the collection path. And we won't show collection path for collection that is not associated to that view. And I think that with this mapping of the Primo views to library, applying that to also taking into account in the collection discovery actually answer the need of this enhancement that you request. Okay, next is we've recently releasing new options in the resource recommender. We are releasing that in order to allow you more option to raise awareness to a specific topic, to an event, and to make it more visualized on top of the search result. So in this release, we are releasing the new type. It's called the banner type. The banner type has a new style. It's going to span across all the width of the search results, as you can see here. It appears more visualized. It can serve you to market material, to market an event that the library holds, to market a conference, and whatever you can think be relevant for that. Um, so as I said, we have a new style. It spans across all of the search width. We want to like to emphasize that we can have only one banner display at a time. It depends on of what banner you choose to define under which search. You can choose to use also the recent release persistent resource recommended to show this banner crawl across all searches or for a specific search. So I would like to do some kind of demo. What you can see here, if I'm searching for summer, for instance, I will be able to present my patron the summer break, expose them more material regarding to summer break. While I'm hovering, I have this really nice effect of the title, and I can perform a link out of this. So this is one example for the banner displaying in more visual way. You can choose to have it, as I said, for conference. I have also wanted to emphasize that you can also see that if I have several resource recommender on other resource recommended type, I will have the banner always display on top of the other resource recommender, and only one banner type can be expanded, as opposed to other resource recommender that we can have shown here. Okay. So this was regarding a new option in the resource recommender, and I hope that you will find this useful. Okay, another enhancement is a continuous to an nurse from last year. And I would like to briefly say what was this nurse all about and how it evolves. So originally we had a nurse to allow dedupe of Faber between local data and CDI data. Technically, there is a limitation to apply this request, and therefore, while we'll discuss it with the Primo working group, we decided to help and narrow the duplication, duplication and avoid duplication from central index and local data by focusing on book material. And this is why in November release, what we did is we enable a configuration that if enable, it actually was all or nothing. And what do I mean by that? It's either you are getting ebooks from CDI and there could be a duplication between the ebooks from CDI and your local data, or you exclude all ebooks from CDI. This was the alternative that we managed by that time to implement. If you enable the feature, all of the ebooks from CDI were excluded and you get ebooks only from your local data. Now, as a continuous, we wanted to improve this enhancement and make the functionality more sensitive to the ebooks that to exclude ebooks that you already activated in your local data. And this will avoid the duplication. But if you have alternative other ebooks from CDI to show, those will not be excluded by default as all or nothing. So this is what we are presenting. So if you, the same configuration that applied in November 21, now we'll have a new, a change in the behavior, a change in functionality, allowing you to filter out all to filter out ebooks that you already have portfolio for that in Alma. And you can read more on that in the release notes. So this is now the enhancement. So what I want to emphasize, if you already activate that, please note that the functionality is changing, allowing you to get more ebooks from CDI and not exclude them all. Okay. Next feature that would like to share with you is about more option, more user settings. As we released previously the option to persist search history, and we also released the option to reuse the search history to offer and suggest recent searches while users type the result. We released this feature as an institution configuration, and we understand that not all the institutions choose to activate that because of privacy consideration. And what we are now releasing is really we are implementing the best practice of privacy recommendation, letting the user determine how to use their search history. So to do that, we are actually introducing a new entry, my personal details and setting. And if user go to that, and if you choose to enable those toggles to show to your user, user will be able to determine whether to allow to save their search history or whether to use their search history for recent search suggestion. And I can do a demo on that. So from privacy consideration, this you can offer your user this suggestion. Just a second. Let me do sign in. So now you can find now a new entry, my personal details and setting, in my library cards, and in the personal settings you can see now allowing saving my search history and use my search history for the recent search suggestion. As a user I can choose to turn both on, and if I will search for a summer vacation. Okay, I search for summer vacation. I will go to the search history, and I can see that summer vacation was added to my search history. I now can go ahead to my library search and I can start type summer, and I see that the recent search suggestion feature now offer me my recent search summer vacation, and I can go ahead and choose that and click on that. Now I can go and decide and determine that I don't want to use my search history for recent search suggestion, and I can go back here. I think that and I start type, and I can see that it's not offering me my suggestion from my search history. So this is actually implementing privacy best practices, and you can offer that to your user. And this is coming from the idea and as said as a best practice. Okay. Another thing that we add in this release, as we release the Give Library feedback tool, and it's also open for guests to report an issue to the library. We introduce now on this release an option to have a CAPTCHA. This reCAPTCHA option can be enabled in the Primo VE, and for Primo customer, if they already have reCAPTCHA on the send to email action, you will also have it automatically also for the give us feedback tool. So you have it now. I just have to say for Primo V Captcha, you have now the option also for the export email tool. So this one of the improvements that we did for the give library feedback tool. I also want to state that we got once we release in the May release the the library feedback tool, we got a report and feedback from the community through the Primo working group. We actually went through this report and processed some improvement that we intend to add to the roadmap. And I hopefully by the end of the year, by November, we will fix all of the issue and add the enhancements that you choose to have. So one of the things that are, as based on your feedback, one of the things that we are going to improve is we actually found an issue for while customizing the icon. So with November release, you will be able to customize the icon of the feedback tool. We'll fix email validation and two enhancements that we are going to add. We are going to add configuration to let this description and email be mandatory if library choose to have those fields mandatory. An additional configuration as you request that for the different subject, for the different category, you will have a different dedicated email to handle that in the library. So both features are hopefully going to be in the next release in the November one. Okay. Next, I would like to emphasize the feature that we released on May release. We released in the May release the option to have all of the searches in CDI either exclude or include full text match, or introduce configuration where you can actually decide to let your user determine where to include search in full text. So this is the toggle that we present here. In May release, the out-of-the-box mode was as used to. The default setting will be search include full text match. And we also communicated that in the August release, we plan to change the out-of-the-box. And now we are going to change the out-of-the-box searches in CDI to exclude full text match. If you don't like it, you can go ahead and change the configuration to one of the settings, as you can see here. So you can test and see what is really a match for you. Okay, another feature in Primo VE, we are giving, coming from the idea, we are giving we would like to give more flexibility while defining a resource type for single records. So for a single record, with this new enhancement, you can define additional resource type. You will always have the main resource type for display and search. For instance, I can have a single record as audio, and this is the one that is going to be displayed, but I can now define additional resource type to be filtered by, for instance, audio CD or audio cassette. So I will be able to see in the facet for this audio additional resource type that I can filter by, that could be either audio CD or audio cassette, and I can determine which one of them based on regular expression, based on some conditions. Same goes for the book, and I will show you the example of the book. Here I have mark records of book that contains a mark field of 533, and I have the indication of microfiche here. And I can choose to have this book to have for the main resource type, to have the display of the main resource type book, but an additional resource type to be filtered by as a microform. So if I want to do that, I can go ahead into a new page that we define a secondary resource type, define my main resource type as a book, and a secondary resource type, I can choose one of the I can choose microform as one of the out of the box and also custom resource type options. So this dropdown will open me all of the options that can be available for me. I can map the book to microform and add a condition to determine that under what circumstances it is really considered to be a microphone as well. So if I manage to define this, I will be able to see for this record and as defined book also additional resource type in the facet, which is the microphone, and I can let my user filter by this one as well. If you choose to enable this feature and you are changing and applying new configuration, you need to be aware that you need to re-index. To do that, you can activate and run the recalculate local resource type job. And as I said, the list of resource type, secondary resource type that appear in the configuration will include most of our out-of-the-box resource type and also a custom one that you choose to add. If you are a consortia, please be aware that if you are defining the second resource type for records in the network zone, we will apply the rules from the network zone level, and same for the ISE institution level. So just be aware on that. So this is more options for the resource type. Now, addition improvement. Addition improvement, maybe I can demo that. I choose to demo that. Previously, while we are added the in the previous release, while we search in the advanced search, while I'll trigger a search, automatically, this was the request, automatically the advanced search from was collapsed. This was one of the enhancements this year that you request to make the search results more visible. And now with this release, we are actually improving the workflow. So if I'm advanced user and I like to continue and tune my request, I can either do it from here, from the summary line, and add additional type, and that could be enough. Or I can go ahead and expand the form and add additional an additional filter and additional add additional filters. And if I go ahead and do search, what happened is the search all over collapsed again. And this actually can annoy the power user that is tend to use more often the advanced search. So now what we did, if you choose to expand the search form, we will persist your preference, and you can continue and work in the advanced search and continue to search, and the search will be and your preference to make the advanced search form expanded will remain. But if you choose to collapse it, we will persist your searches. So this is improving the workflow for the powerful user that are using the advanced search, not annoying by collapsing each time and saving the form and saving their preference. We also fixed some bugs that were in the summary line that now becomes more visible. So if I'm tend to before go ahead and delete the query, it used to delete all of the phrase here, and now we are marking that you can continue and type query in the summary line, and the phrase is not disappearing. Okay, so additional improvement based on the feedback, and you can read more about the workflow here. In Primo V, additional configurations that we have is allowing you to go ahead, and while you are defining a local display field, you can also, you used to have option to have a normalization rule for Mac 21 for Unimac, and now you can have it also for the doubling core. You can play around and define normalization rules for display and also for search, also for the doubling core. Okay, another enhancement, we have this Primo View to libraries mapping that I previously share with you that we are using this mapping for the collection discovery for specific libraries. Now we have this configuration also can be used to be applied on the get it. So you can choose whether to hide or filter the location only for specific library in a specific Primo view. And there is this unfilter here to expand to all. Now with this enhancement, we take the same configuration and apply now this configuration not only on the get it section, but also on the availability section. So if you specify that you want library A and library B to be only available for that Primo view, and this was specified in this Primo view to libraries configuration, we actually can show you library C in this availability statement. So if the location will be from library C, now we apply this configuration and we won't show a library C as the availability statement. We will show not available instead. So this was about applying and filtering the library per view also for the availability statement as here, as you can see here. Another small enhancement that we did, we are letting you allowing you to determine whether to sort the subject alphabetically order in alphabetically order in the full records display. This can be applied to sites that are using enrichment from the authority for multilingual preferred terms in different languages. This can be make the display of the subject more ordered, more grouped by languages. Okay, now additional enhancement. We saw it coming the idea with not necessarily accurate implementing the same as the idea suggested, but we did understand your need to see more usage on the traffic of the link and to distinguish whether user are click more on link in record or link resolver. And now with this new enhancement we introduced recently with the option to display all links from the view it, you can even, we are elaborating more whether the link is linking records that you see before you click on the show more, or if you click on the show more and there is additional link to sort over there, you will be able to see the usage of additional link to source. So you can see if this triggering this display or link is valuable for your user, and they are actually see that, click on the show more and go ahead and click on additional open URL link or additional link to source link. So you will have this usage information. More updates. We have Melingo is the Hebrew search plugin for the Primo backoffice customer. It's going to be upgraded in August release, and a re-index is going to happen on the August 7th. This is really more relevant for Israeli customer using the Melingo Hebrew search plugin. On-premise Primo customer that are still using the classic UI with the August release, if they install it on we will redirect to the new UI. And sorry for not writing here Q4. And last, I would like to tell you what are the sneak peek for the next quarter. So in the next quarter and the last quarter of 2022, we are going to offer you the set preference for linking records, linking and quick links. You will have, same as you have configuration for setting the preference for open URL link resolver, you will have the option to set the preference for linking record and quick links. There are going to be a new action share to WhatsApp, to LinkedIn, to Twitter. We are going to implement the Give Us Feedback improvement tool. And of course, one of the enhancements from next year is also expected to be released, more usage in the Primo Analytics on the collection discovery. You will be able to see popular collections. In the Primo VE, we are going to introduce a new exact type, a new exact and only phrase in the advanced search. In the analytics area, this is actually coming, will be available in September in the additional enhancement. You will be able to see in the Alma Analytics measurements of related to discovery. How many titles do you have discovery related? How many of them are external sources, and so on? We are going to improve um, uh, metadata, so the export for citations will be more accurate, specifically for local articles and book chapters. We are going to better map a data section in the Primo record, so the export will be more accurate. And we are going to improve the CN mark with more mapping as requested by customer. Okay, so this is actually what I covered. Just before we are going into your questions, I would like to emphasize that we also running a project of data excellence, which is actually a combination of our big content operation team. Also, we've working together with our technology, with our technology, to give you strong services and more satisfaction. And what we have managed to release in this data excellence is actually improving the right process, and I will show you in the next slide. We improve the quality, matching, improve the linking, matching by provider IDs, and more. And there are more expected to come, and there is a dedicated webinar on that. But before that, we also part of this data excellence, improving the direct access, the quick links. We are working with more and more providers. We increased the number of providers now to 17 providers, and this can be the list. And additional providers are planned, and you can see more and read more on that here. In addition, early this year, we said that going to be improvement to the process of the write. So you will see more quickly your updates, your activation. And indeed, you can see that from the beginning of the year, we have managed to do a lot of optimization and reduce the write processing to be under the 40 hours. And we are still continue to work and work on those improvements. And with that, I would like also to invite you to register to this Data Excellence Overview and Update through this Primo webinar program page. And we are excited to attend the Igloo 22 this year face to face. And those are the sessions that we lead. We will have this Primo update session, and we also will join the Primo working group session that you can participate and see all of the good work and collaboration with the community, leading by the community. And I think so. Thank you for joining, and I remind you, please get ready with this Angular. We are thinking how we can assist. You can open a ticket, but just read the material, uh, try this testing parameter to see if this is compatible, and you can do it prior to November. Don't wait for the last moment. What else? We are really excited to meet some of you at the Igloo conference. And of course, I wish you a great summer, and we will meet you soon at the Igloo one.